I heard you're going into teaching. But wait, before you do, these are 10 things that I wish I knew before I went into teaching. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to my channel where I share weekly insight, support, and candid advice about teaching social studies. If you're new to this channel, hi, I'm Cecilia Tamez, and I'm an experienced educator and consultant. And I provide resources, support, and solutions for passionate history teachers like you. Okay, so I know that there are a lot of other videos on the internet about all the negative aspects that come with teaching and all the hardships that are involved with teaching, which this video is not trying to negate or discredit. Teaching is dang hard. But I also think it's fair that I share with you, as a new educator coming into this field, that there are things worth staying for in this profession. And there are things that will fill you so much that you can make a lifelong profession out of being an educator. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing the 10 things I wish I knew about teaching in terms of the good, the bad, and the downright awesome. After you become a teacher, your life is never the same. And that's because you may be coming in with these preconceived notions that you may have learned, you may have picked up from others' experience, or maybe from teacher friends that are already in the field. And it's so easy to focus on maybe the negative or the difficult that you close yourself off to having positive experiences. And I know that things are challenging. However, you want to make sure that you go into teaching with an open mind. Your life will also never be the same because you are going to discover some skills you didn't even know you had. So that's why I say you want to come in with an open mind and you want to challenge yourself and really give yourself the space to grow into some of these skills. You can't expect to show up the first day of school and know everything there is to know about teaching. You also need to know that from here on out, you are going to be like an additional parent to a lot of these children. And I can't tell you how excited my students were to actually see me show up as that dependable adult that maybe they didn't have in their life, or that wasn't with them there in the moment when they really needed somebody that could inspire calmness and confidence. The second good thing that I wanted to share is that when you become a teacher, you will gracefully learn and understand that you don't know it all and that you're definitely not perfect. And just having the students trust me, but giving me this little puzzled look like, "Miss, what are we doing?" And it was just humbling to know that I didn't know all the answers and that in teaching, that's also okay. And all in all, I feel like messing up and learning to be humble about making mistakes and learning to pick myself back up and try again really helped me to see the learning experience from my students' point of view. The third good thing that I wish I knew before becoming a teacher is that as a teacher, you will be loved unconditionally. It's so unfortunate that often being a vulnerable teacher gets such a bad reputation because some mentors or some veteran teachers might advise against that because, you are going to project weakness. Students are going to take advantage of you. And I feel like there's a right way to be vulnerable. Vulnerability done right can really breed respect with your students and understanding for days when you have to have tough conversations. As you'll hear later on in this video, teaching definitely has its challenges, but my personal testimony with teaching is that my students, I'm sorry, I didn't think I'd get so emotional sharing this. My students straight up saved my soul, especially in the extremely challenging teaching years. I can tell you that there was never a day that I did not feel loved in my teaching career. There was never a day that went by that I did not feel loved, appreciated, and seen, and loved for who I was, my quirky, dorky, bookwormy, I'm gonna do a little jig in class self. They were the ones who really helped me shift my perspective about the fact that teaching could actually be worthwhile and it could be fun, and it could be better than I had ever seen or experienced or heard. In the spirit of transparency, I also have to talk about the bad. So let's talk about the bad. Your life will never be private again. Never. Your students will try to stalk you on social media. Teaching is just an extremely public role. You're like a celebrity now. And everything you do or say will be scrutinized by the community, even in your private life. The second bad thing that I wish I knew was that oftentimes you may not feel valued as a professional. Even if you have a fantastic administrative team that really does try to do what's best for the teachers and the students, more often than not, it's just the system that teachers work for that really inhibits our ability to make these important decisions about what's actually best for the students. Unfortunately, as it were, in education, most decisions are based off of two things: policy and money. And that to me was just a really harsh disappointment that is a pill that I still can't swallow till this day. The third bad thing that I wish I knew before going into teaching is the level of micromanagement that happens and is built into the education system. So some examples of this are the humiliatingly short length of our lunchtime. 30-minute lunches, 20-minute lunches if you have to escort the children to the cafeteria for whatever reason. That's just demeaning. I've had experiences where not being trusted to work from home. I have been in a situation where they would literally lock the teachers into the school. So they'd close the school gates and lock it with a lock and key so that teachers wouldn't leave during their conference period to go get coffee, or worse, try to leave exactly on time. Now, I'm not sharing all this to discourage you from teaching. As your virtual mentor, I have to mentally prepare you for accepting or overcoming these challenges. Now, so far, which one of these do you find the hardest pill to swallow? I gotta know. Drop it in the comments below. So let's talk about the awesome. So some of the awesome things that I wish I knew before going into teaching is that the kids are the best part of teaching, hands down. Your coworkers can, honest to goodness truth, become like family. I can't tell you how great an impact they had in shaping me as an educator and in helping me survive the really rough days. I'm not gonna lie, you will get to meet some cool people. Did I tell you that I got to meet one of the real life runners from the McFarlane running team from the movie McFarlane? You remember that movie? You'll also definitely get to have fun and be yourself. I can honestly say that I don't relate to teachers who say that switching to teacher mode. I felt like with me, when I got to school, I was still one and the same. I just got to have a little bit more fun when I got to school. Now, the other awesome thing I wish I knew before being a teacher is that there's just a certain level of pride about being a teacher. I mean, imagine the skill that you need to have and have mastered to get kids who won't do chores at their house to do all their projects and participate in everything in your class, because you have managed to unlock the code to influence this child. Cool points. You know, in closing, I had a conversation with a college student of mine. He was a reconnaissance Marine, and I confess that sometimes I wish I had joined the Marines so I could serve my country. And I never forget that he turned around to look at me straight in the eye, and he said to me, "Who says teaching isn't serving your country?" And as you can imagine, that totally floored me. As teachers, we have the tremendous gift and responsibility to create a better, more compassionate, more kind society, a better generation of human beings. And that, without a doubt, is the most rewarding part of teaching. If you're a new history teacher that wants to join a supportive group of fellow educators, of fellow colleagues that will share ideas and celebrate your wins as you experience your first year teaching, make sure to join my free Facebook group, the History Teachers Lounge, by clicking the link down below. Or consider enrolling in my newsletter for additional ideas, tips, and strategies for teaching social studies without the burnout. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, class dismissed.